It's Christmas time. You're probably binge-watching classics like Home Alone. Remember little Kevin McCallister, the kid who gave burglars a run for their money? Well, some theorists suggest that after his family's second vacation fiasco, he might have taken a rather dark turn and transformed into the Jigsaw from the Saw franchise.
What?
Yeah, you read that right. Before you call this theory crazy, let's dive into the details. If you've been living under a puppet mask, Jigsaw, whose real name is John Kramer, is the chilling killer behind all those gruesome traps and moral dilemmas in the Saw movies. We learn that John Kramer was just an ordinary guy until he received the grim diagnosis of a terminal illness. Instead of going quietly into that good night, Kramer decides to take life into his own hands, quite literally. He crafts elaborate schemes where he traps victims in a labyrinth of deadly games and puzzles with the cruel twist that solving these challenges is the only way to escape death. But how does this connect to our beloved Kevin? Well, the young fella might have had a streak of violence in him all along. Sure, he might look like your average kid next door, but if you pay close attention to the Home Alone movies, you'll spot a pattern. Kevin dishes out punishment to the wet bandits with an almost unnerving glee. He doesn't just defend his home, but relishes their pain. Whether it's hot irons to the face, slippery stairs, or paint cans to the noggin, Kevin's methods aren't just about self-defense, they're about making Harry and Marv pay. Now, you might argue that it's all in good fun, just a kid having some slapstick adventures. But is it? There's something undeniably twisted about how Kevin seems to revel in their agony, almost as if he's enjoying their suffering a bit too much. Fast forward to the Saw franchise, and we're in the twisted world of Jigsaw. He's the mastermind behind those elaborate and sadistic traps that push people to their limits. You see, Jigsaw's brand of torment is all about giving his victims a new lease on life in the most twisted way possible. And surely he seems to derive some form of enjoyment from the suffering he inflicts. Now, the theory isn't as far-fetched as it may seem. Imagine this scenario. Kevin, once the naughty but innocent boy, receives some earth-shattering news in his adult life, perhaps a devastating diagnosis or some other traumatic event. Could this breaking point send him spiraling back to his childhood tendencies? Except this time, those tendencies take a much darker turn. Think about it. In the Home Alone movies, Kevin crafts those diabolical booby traps that have us in stitches as he outwits the wet bandits time and time again. Fast forward to Jigsaw's playground, and some of those gruesome games bear a striking resemblance to traps or moments from Kevin's childhood. Remember that creepy furnace in Kevin's basement that gave him nightmares? He imagined it coming to life and terrorizing him. Well, in Saw 2, Jigsaw burned someone alive in a furnace. Coincidence? Maybe not. It's almost as if Jigsaw is taking inspiration from his childhood fears, which Kevin might have shared. Are these two more alike than we ever imagined? Now I know what you're thinking. Kevin's just a kid, right? Well, hear us out. The last time we saw Kevin was in 1992, when he was gallivanting around New York. But what if, as he grew older, he decided to pack his bags and head to Pennsylvania? Yup, the same Pennsylvania where Jigsaw operates his twisted games. Picture this. Kevin McCallister, now all grown up, changes his name to John Kramer. They share more than a passing resemblance: blue eyes, blonde hair, and that signature jawline. Macaulay Culkin, the actor who played Kevin, has even teased the idea that Kevin could go full Saw. Of course, the timeline doesn't quite add up. Kevin's just a kid in Home Alone, but John Kramer's an older dude by the time Saw hits theaters. But, and here's a big but, if we play with the timeline a bit and imagine the events of the Saw films didn't exactly coincide with their theatrical releases, this theory starts to make some sense. And guess what? The creator of Saw, James Wan, has given this theory his nod of approval, so who's to say our beloved Kevin didn't take a dark and twisted turn and become the infamous Jigsaw? It's a theory that'll have you rewatching Home Alone through a whole new lens this holiday season. For more crazy theories, hit the like and subscribe buttons. Happy holidays, and let's enjoy them together.